All right, here we are looking at InDesign. With our first year class, we put together a magazine of chosen work that they want to show. Everybody gets 2 double-page spreads and gets to pick what they want, whether that's from a college project or it's from a personal work, stuff that they're doing on their own. That's fine. So what I want to do is have a little online session that people can refer back to as they're trying to do this in their own little house, and should work okay. So what I've got is InDesign on screen here. I will send out to everyone a template. We're doing an A4 magazine, so the pages are going to be 210 wide by 297 millimeters high, and that A4 page. So each magazine spread is going to be 2 pages, double page spread. So the template that I will send out will have 5 pages on it, because every book starts with page number 1 on the right hand side of the page. And we're going to leave that blank, and you can see I've left big text there that says page 1 is left blank. And then you will get 4 more pages set up as 2 spreads. They've got page numbers already on them, and then when they automatically adjust as they go. So when I add everything together, it works out really well. So I've set these up as 3 columns on each page, simply because that gives us a little bit of structure that we can work with. But of course, people are going to have specific work that's going to fit. It's going to look better when it's not on the 3-column structure. But we will still use the outside margins. We won't bleed off the edge of the page. We'll keep a little bit of consistency so that everyone's work sits within these frames. All right. So everyone should have access to InDesign, and we'll walk through the setup of each, how to add your text and images to your page. The process is pretty simple once you get used to it. Making it look good is the hard part. On the right hand side of the page, you can see the Pages palette, or you can find that in your window and go down to Pages, click on that, and you get this little tab that pops out. And again, you can see page 1 has my instructions on it. And then you've got page 2 and 3 as 1 double page spread, and page 4 and 5 as another double page spread. So the question is, what do you want to put on your pages? Well, here's one that I'm making. And I'm working on this project where I'm looking at the fact that my name's Tim, my dad's name is Tim, and my grandfather's name is Tim. So the fact that I've lived in Ireland for over 30 years means that the artifacts, the objects that I have that my grandfather held in his hand, that my father held in his hand, these become very important to me, and even more so as time has gone on. So I've been trying to photograph those in interesting ways, and still working at it. But let's try a layout and see how they work. All right. So you can see here a shot of a shot. That's a picture of my father, an old picture that I have, and I like that idea of the time passing exemplified in that artifact. And I know Martin has a lot to say about old photographs. And so I put below that a pocket knife. Now, my dad carried a pocket knife in his pocket every single day. And I have a couple of them that he gave me that he doesn't carry around anymore. So that's something that I have. And what amuses me is that, as great as these pocket knives are, they have these nice textured black handles. They're really easy to grip, very secure. Very often, the pants went into the washing machine and got washed. And that's why there's this white residue on that black handle. It's not a residue, it's, I don't know, whatever damage has been done to the surface. So I'm trying to photograph those things, but I'm thinking that maybe I want to put opposite that something of my grandfather's. Okay, so with each thing in InDesign, you create your page, and then you have to create a box to put the content into. So we'll create text boxes for text, and we'll create image boxes for holding our pictures. All right. This picture of my father, you can see on the measurements at the top, it's 130 millimeters wide by 90 millimeters high. So I want to create a consistent presentation with my grandfather. So I click on this box that I've made on the other side, and I can go up into the width and change that to 130. Hit the return key, and sorry, what was the height? 190 or 90. So I'll make the height 90. Hit return. Now I have that centered on the page opposite, and if I drag that around a little bit, it will give me guidelines, which it's not doing. All right. Why is that? Don't know. Okay, so again, I can check the measurements on this. So if I'm measuring from the center, if I want to have it centered on the page, I'll measure from the center dot. You see this dot of 9 grid, and each of those is a measurement point, a reference point. So it's telling me that an X measurement of 109.167, oops, yeah, and a Y measurement of 101. So I click on my box for my grandfather, and I make the Y measurement the same, 101. That's the vertical scale. And then because this is 210 page width, and the other one was 109, so I need to add 210 to my 109, which gives me 319, 319. See if that works. It was 319 point something, wasn't it? Or sorry, 109.167. All right, we'll get that close. I have my margins set up differently here. Okay. All right, so I've got a box 190 by 130 by 90, and if I want to make a second box to go with that, I have that box selected, and I can hold my Alt key down and just drag it down. If I hold the Shift key, it'll stay in a consistent line. And let's check the alignment of that. The Y measurement on the bottom box is 196 to the center, and I was on 197, close. 196. Okay. So I have my two boxes that are going to make this double page spread with my dad on one side and my grandfather on the other. So I'll highlight on the top, and I will go up to the edit menu, no, file menu. I never remember that. And I want to go to place. So it's file menu and down to place, which is also Command D. And then it's going to give you a dialog window to pick that object. Now, here's where we get the key to putting this together. Okay, everybody who's creating an InDesign project is making a job folder to hold that project, because InDesign doesn't embed the image. As I've said many times, it creates a link to that image file. Otherwise, if you create a 350-page book, your file would be so ginormous, it would never work. All right. Thanks for watching part 1 of magazine layouts using InDesign. I had to split this clip in half to satisfy YouTube's limits on clip length. So jump over to magazine layouts part 2 to see the rest of what we're doing. Thanks a lot. This is Tim, and see you in a minute.